Good morning. My name is Hunter Schwegman, and welcome back to the continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College, where we highlight various programs and events happening each week at NCCC. Today, we will be highlighting the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, otherwise known as RSVP. Today, we're sitting down with the director of the program, Sandy Haggard. How are you doing today, Sandy?
Great, Hunter. Thanks for inviting me.
So, Sandy, I just want to kind of give people a little background on you. So just kind of let us know what your title is, what you do here at the college, and how long have you been with Neosho County?
My title is RSVP Director, and I have been here for 7 years.
For the people who might not be aware of what the program is, can you kind of provide an overview of the RSVP program and kind of explain to us what the mission and goal of the group is?
Sure. AmeriCorps Seniors has 3 branches, and RSVP is one of the branches. So that's the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. There are 2 other branches that are stipended for their volunteers. And that means that they get a stipend amount per hour. But ours do not receive anything. So RSVP stands for Retired Senior Volunteer Program, and it covers a wide variety of services.
How does the RSVP program serve the community, and what kind of services do volunteers provide to the area and to nonprofit groups and things like that?
RSVP partners with local nonprofits to have as volunteer workstations. And so we work with people who are wanting to serve their community, and we try to find the right match for them. So some of the places that they volunteer are the local blood drives, K-12 schools, where they are greeters, the hospital volunteers, food banks, and Hope Unlimited, which is a place that they can sort donations for the domestic violence shelter.
How does the RSVP program address specific community needs and things that the area is actually needing? And how do you go about identifying those and finding those locations that need volunteers?
Well, there are 2 community needs that I feel like we address very well, and one of them is food insecurity. So we partner with a lot of food banks and the mobile food pantry and other locations that give out food. And another one is substance misuse prevention. And so we partner with places like the Recovery House in Iola, where our volunteers have gone up to just hang out with the residents and just support them. So those are 2 areas that we've helped with.
For someone who might be interested in joining the group and, giving up their time to help others, what are some of the requirements to become a volunteer, and how do you go about signing up?
To be an RSVP volunteer, you need to be 55 years old and willing to serve in Allen, Bourbon, Neosho, or Woodson counties. And to sign up is really easy. There's just one form that you fill out just one time, and you can contact our office at 620-432-0422 or email me at Haggard, Haggard, at neosho.edu, and we will sign you up. So some of the benefits from that is that we provide excess liability insurance for while people are volunteering, and we invite you to our annual volunteer lunch.
What would you describe as some of the benefits for senior volunteers in terms of personal fulfillment and community connection and things like that?
Some of the volunteers that have worked with children have seen quite the progression of just skills and just maybe social skills throughout the year. So let's say like a greeter out the high school might see some kids that don't really want to engage with them when they first start in the fall and barely even look up as they're saying good morning to them. But after a few months, they see that that student is approaching them and saying good morning and just kind of changing their attitude. And the same with the readers at Cherry Street in the after school program. At first, some of the kids are timid and just want to have the volunteer read to them. And it's not long after some of the kids are saying, may I read this book to you? And so they're just seeing the glimmer in the students' eyes, and they're enjoying working with children.
You've got someone that came to you and kind of explained that they're looking to get involved, but they're not really sure about it. They're kind of hesitant. What would you say to them to get them to get involved in the program?
Well, we've actually had studies that they've taken showing that volunteering helps improve somebody's health and improves their attitude and just overall well-being. And so we've had some people connect with us who said, look, I'm just looking for something to do. And it could be a weekly commitment, or it could just be every so often I just email you and just say, hey, do you happen to be free next week? I have found that some people who have contacted us that were kind of lonesome, they kind of live alone, they just wanted to do something here and there. Now I see them really connecting with friends. Really, volunteering is just kind of hanging out with your friends a lot of times.
And then on the other side of that, what about people who aren't able to get involved but still want to support the program? Is there any ways that they can do that?
Well, we just have one fundraiser each year, and it is coming up. We sell poinsettias, and we have kept the price at the same price each year just because we feel like it's more of a community service. We actually deliver the poinsettias, and we keep the price at $10. So that is our one fundraiser coming up. So if someone would like to buy a poinsettia and have it delivered in either Chanute or Erie, you can let us know here sometime soon.
I know you mentioned the poinsettia sale coming up, but is there any other upcoming events that people can get a hold of you and get involved in really soon here?
Yes, we're going to be having on Halloween morning what they call a spooky parade, and it's going to be here on campus for preschoolers and toddlers. And we could use a couple of volunteers to help with a child's game on that morning. And then also on November the 8th, which is a Friday, is our annual veteran lunch. And we always look forward to that. So we do encourage any veterans in Neosho County to contact us to reserve a spot. And they could bring their guests for free as well. And they can arrive at noon on November the 8th.
That brings me to the end of all the questions I had. So thank you so much, Sandy, for being here today. Thank you for your time.
Great. I'm so glad to be here. We'd also like to mention that if someone would like to get on our newsletter list, we send out a newsletter 3 times a year before each semester highlighting our lifetime learning courses and also our volunteer activities. So if someone would like to get that either via email or snail mail, they can contact me. My number is 620-432-0042, or they could email Haggard, Haggard, at neosho.edu. Thank you so much.
Next up on the program, we have one of the RSVP volunteers who's been here for a couple of years, kind of knows his way around the program. Today we have Jerry Tallent. How's it going, Jerry?
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Glad to be here to kind of say what I do.
Jerry, just to give people a little bit of background on who you are and what you do, what do you do outside of the RSVP program? What's your career? What are you into hobby-wise? Things like that.
Well, actually, since I've retired, and I won't tell you how many years that's been, but primarily I'm involved in church work and a lot of other organizations. I'm a treasurer of 2 other organizations. I serve on several boards. And so all around, sometimes I feel like I'm pretty busy.
Jerry, we heard there's a lot of different aspects that you can get involved in with RSVP here at Neosho County, but what kind of specific volunteer work do you typically do, and how did you kind of choose to do that?
I've been on the advisory board for RSVP for off and on, 30 years perhaps. But it's rewarding to work with the board. It's great to work with Sandy to kind of know the ins and outs of the program. And just do some of when you get those calls from Sandy and say, hey, I need somebody, you just usually say, sure, I'll do it.
So it's kind of, you kind of taking on the role of like call man, the guy that we call in when we need backup.
I would hope that's true, yeah.
And I know you mentioned you've been on the advisory board for a while, but how long specifically have you been volunteering with RSVP, and what kind of brought you, what kind of inspired you to join?
Well, primarily it's because when they are needing someone to help in different programs, she mentioned blood drives, she mentioned poinsettias. Any of those projects, going to school, meeting with kids, reading to kids, which was one of my very favorite things to do. It's the interaction with other people. I think that's what encourages you to do it.
Throughout those experiences, how do you feel like your work has impacted the community? And is there a specific moment or experience or time, that you went and did something that really stands out as especially meaningful to you?
Well, even moving day, helping students get settled in the new community and their new environments, I think helps. Assisting at the food drives has helped, and it's a joy just to meet and greet those people who are there to give blood. In the schools, there's nothing like going into a classroom and seeing hands raised that they want to read to me that day. That was great. Yeah.
I know our group of RSVP volunteers is pretty female dominated, so I want to ask you, what would you say to potential volunteers, especially men, who might be considering volunteering but aren't really sure if it's the right thing to do?
Any of the men that have the time and the opportunity would benefit so much by greeters, whether it be at Cherry Street, whether it be at the senior high school. It's great to get to know kids, kind of to allow them to open up to you, and you open up to them also. I can't think of an instance that I haven't enjoyed particularly. Today I volunteered at the art gallery as a docent, and all that really means is you greet the people and explain what's on the program for that day or for that month, usually. It's just an opportunity to meet new people, and any guy can do that.
Yeah, you mentioned greeting at the high school, and I know that when I was in high school, the Friday morning greeters was always one of the best parts, so you guys really do make an impact on the community. But I just want to thank you for coming today. Thanks for your time, and thanks for getting on the radio to spread the good word about RSVP.
And thank you for inviting us. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to speak on behalf of RSVP.
And that has been this week's Continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. For more information on joining RSVP, contact Sandy Haggard at shaggard@neosho.edu. My name is Hunter Schwegman, and don't forget to tune in next week as we highlight another amazing aspect of Neosho County Community College. Go Show!